A warm welcome back to the Forensics Detailing channel. We've done the heats, we're through to the grand final of our best quick detailer 2025. We've got 10 stonkers here and we've got a lot of testing to get through. Let's get started. So the first test, we'll do a price comparison and walk through the products. The Griots 3-in-1 ceramic wax. This is the most expensive product in the test, costing £26.99 for 651 ml, which is £41.45 per litre. Our average cost per litre is around £30.97. Here's our data here, so you can pause it right now and have a look at all that data. Save me putting it on the screen. Next up is the Carbon Collective Special Ceramic Detailer. This product costs £19.96 for 500ml or £39.92 per litre. So these are quite pricey, these products. Next up we have a tie between Labo Cosmetica Perfecta SiO2 Ceramic Quick Detailer. This costs £18.95 for 500ml, which is £37.90 per litre. And same with the Feynlab Hybrid Ceramic Detailer, exactly the same price. Next up we have the Autoglym Rapid Ceramic Spray, which costs around £18.79 for 500ml, giving a cost per litre of £37.79. All these products are over the market average price of around about £31. So that's good consumer information. Next, we jump down and we go below the market average price with the Meguiar's Hybrid Ceramic Detailer, which costs £20.99 for 768ml, which is £27.33 per litre. So about £3 below market average. That's okay. Next up is the Turtle Wax, priced at £17.50 for 680ml, giving £25.73 per litre. So that's just off the podium. Then we start getting into the products, I think, which then offer you relatively good value. The Sonax XTREME Ceramic Ultra Slick Detailer, it's a bit of a mouthful, £17.95 for 750ml, giving a price per litre of £23.93. Next up, the Sugar Coat by the brand called Alchemy. This is a SiO2 detailer which costs £10.95 for 500ml, giving a really good price of £21.90 per litre. Good value. And then a non-ceramic detailer, I think perhaps one of the few in this test, if only non-ceramic one, maybe the Turtle Wax is just graphene, is the Sonax Brilliant Shine Detailer. Been around for donkey's years. You can pick it up for £11.95 for 750ml, giving a price per litre of £15.93. So way below the market average, less than half. So these three on the podium represent good value if you're looking for a kind of performance quick detailer for way below market average price. There's your consumer information, and then here is that data, so you can pause it like I said before. Thank you very much. Next test. So next up, the slickness test, guys, from the most slickest to the least, so I don't have to reverse the overlay footage. The Autoglym Rapid Ceramic Spray, once set, leaves a real silky smooth finish, which has the lowest slide down kind of angle on the panel, and I think is the noticeably slickest product in this test. In second place, it's the Hybrid Ceramic Detailer, and after that the Alchemy. There's a little tiering here that these three podiums are perhaps the noticeably slickest in this test. And as we move down the rankings, this next order of four, the Turtle Wax, Carbon Collective, Meguiar's and the Labo, all feel nice and slidey to me, but just not at that level. You get the idea. Then down at the bottom order, the Griots is a little bit above these two. And then you have the Brilliant Shine Detailer, which feels the stickiest to me and, you know, the most grippy. And then the Sonax Ceramic Detailer, which feels a little bit more grippy, but on the tilt table, that one was consistently sliding more than that one. So that's our slickness testing results. 10 points, 1 point. Doug. Next over to our gloss testing, guys. So we prep off our panel, we machine polish it with a compound and a wall pad, and it gives us a moderately glossy mid-range finish. We then take we degrease the panel with panel wipe and take 3 reading averages on each strip, apply the products, let them cure for 24 hours, and then take 3 reading averages of gloss and haze afterwards. Here's our reverse ranking, so the least glossy and the most hazy panels through to the best gloss and haze performance. So there's the ranking: Feynlab, then Autoglym, then Meguiar's, then Sonax, then these 2 in joint place, then the Labo, then the Griots, then the Alchemy, then the Turtle Wax Flex Wax. Here's all the data around that. So forgive any crossings out, you write stuff in the wrong column and all that sort of stuff. It's very easy to make a mistake as well, so I apologise if anything has gone wrong. And this is only a snapshot test. Really, to explore this reliably, you would need to repeat this test probably around 10 times on different panels. But that's our data, that's our results. A really good increment in Turtle Wax's gloss performance. What I'll do now is I'll take this panel outside and just show it to you in good daylight, and you can see the darkening effect and what each strip looks like. So here we are out in the sunlight, guys, and hopefully the takeaway from this is the Carbon Collective looks really jet black to me, and the Turtle Wax looks the jet blackest, those 2. The Alchemy's nice and dark, and the Labo's nice and dark. And yeah, you can just see with your eyeballs kind of what I'm seeing. The Meguiar's not quite as dark as some of the others, and neither the Sonax BSD. The Autoglym not quite as dark. So yeah, Carbon Collective and Turtle Wax, real jet black look, I think. Next up, hydrophobicity or water repellency. Feel free to reverse this test if you want the least hydrophobic is a desirable thing. The Griots 3-in-1 ceramic wax, for a product that's come last in the hydrophobicity test, this is still a decent amount of repellency. I don't know, a 6, maybe even a 7 out of 10. But in this field, it's come last. After that, again, a very hydrophobic product. Beads really, really well. Very rapid water repellency, but second to last, and a tiering. There is a jump up between the 2. A slight improvement and a little bit more hydrophobicity, the Carbon Collective Speciale. This was a hydrophobic winner possibly in its heat, but now it's third from bottom, which I suggested might happen. These 2 are very, very close, but I think the Feynlab was just maybe a little bit less hydrophobic than the Labo. Very hard to tell, both really beady. The Autoglym, a little tiny step up with a slightly higher water repellency. Really hard to build up the pooling water at all on this panel. Could just about do it. It's pretty good on that front. You know, this is a 7 or an 8 or something, I don't know. Now, from here on in, we have extremely hydrophobic products. The Meguiar's was its class leader in the beadage, and it's come 4th in this test. This is just the most ridiculously hydrophobic lineup I've ever looked at. And then perhaps with a slight bit more than the Meguiar's, although they're virtually neck and neck, is the Turtle Wax Flex Wax. Then we have the kings of the beadage, the Hydrophobicity. Very hard to split these 2. It's almost on a little hunch that the beads on this one seem to even fly up the panel, but both of them just ridiculous. Sonax BSD, about you are not going to beat this product, even though it's in 2nd place on hydrophobicity. I wonder if they're sharing some tech somewhere in there to make them both bead like crazy. And I thought the Sonax XTREME maybe was the most hydrophobic. This isn't durability, this is just hydrophobicity 1 day after application. These 2 are absolutely bonkers if that's what you like. Yeah, it's going to make drying the car easier. It's going to make them a really effective drying aid. But in the winter, in the wet months when it's raining all the time and stuff, you'll see like the water flying off your car when you drive it. And I think a lot of people do still like a really hydrophobic product, but feel free to reverse the order. There we go, Doug. Next up, durability, guys, from least to most durable. The test panel's been outside for around 10 days this time, which is longer than the other tests, in baking hot sun, rain. The wash cycles have been done more sporadically, which probably affects the results slightly, but this is reasonably accurate. And all of these products actually have really good durability, especially if you factor in the detail spray element of what they are. But the least durable was the Alchemy Sugar Coat, followed closely by these 2, the Labo Cosmetica and the Feynlab Hybrid Ceramic Detailer. Both of these products will do, I think, beyond 3 months if you get a good application down of them. This one, perhaps 2 to 3 months. That's a finger in the wind. After that, we're getting on to impressive durability. The Meguiar's hybrid ceramic detail, very hydrophobic, but that hydrophobicity does tail off quicker than some of these topper order ones, which is probably what you'd expect for a ceramic detailer, but still actually quite impressive. Then the Autoglym Rapid Ceramic Spray. It's a little bit less hydrophobic than the Meguiar's to start with, but it does cling on to that hydrophobicity a little bit more. After that, a really good showing from the Carbon Collective. Yeah, it just seems to hang on. You see those patches coming through, but ultimately there was 4 products that lasted longer on the panel. The Sonax XTREME Ultra Slick Detailer, really hydrophobic and really durable for a detailer spray. When it starts to go though, it goes, and then it's on, you know, when it's on its last legs, it can go from that to sort of looking flat reasonably rapidly. But a 4th is a good showing, especially because this is listed as a detailer. After that, the Griots Ceramic 3-in-1 Wax, less hydrophobic, so you could be fooled into thinking this isn't that durable, but it clings on, slower to repel that water off, and it can be masked with the water. But that breaking through the water doesn't seem to go away, and that is a very durable spray wax product that I think would do 3 to 6 months from what I'm seeing. You know, it's just a case of it will still be there, but you might not see it enough that you want to top it up. Next up, in second place, the Turtle Wax graphene infused flex wax. Yeah, very durable product that's really resistant to wash cycles. I think it's advertised as lasting around 3 months, but that might be a little bit conservative. Yeah, so a very durable product, and it actually came first when I compared it to the winner here, Sonax BSD, in the first heat. But in this heat, this one was still showing the most protection at the point where I've got to the stage where I can see the difference in deg on these, and I'm satisfied that that's a decent order. But some of them are so close they could shuffle around if you repeat the testing. But there we go, the marks have been awarded, and that is most of the scores on the doors on durability. Next up, user experience, guys, and I forced myself to rank these so the worst one gets 1 and the top one gets 10. That is because if I just do them the same as before, they'll all be floating around the 6 and 7s, and this test will become pointless. So I'm forcing myself to rank them. And I'm bearing in mind the question, the user experience as a detail spray. So in last place, the Flex Wax, even though this is a well-presented, versatile product with good instructions, and you can use it on lots of different surfaces and use it as a drying aid, its application is compromised because of its spray wax, graphene-infused, rich active ingredient nature that requires a wet wipe, which, when you're applying a detail spray, is something that's undesirable. So, yes, Turtle Wax will argue, well, it is a spray wax, but it has to be penalised within this test because it gets all the perks of the spray wax sort of protection elements. So it has to be penalised for that wet wipe. And yeah, in a context of a detail spray, that does would stop me reaching for it quickly to tidy up a panel. It's not really for that. It's more to put protection down. Next up, this one identifies as a detail spray, but it's got this amazing protective and hydrophobic qualities, but it's sticky on the buff, and lots of people mix it down more to get around that problem and loosen it up. And it's a bit of a Marmite product. People either love it or hate it, but for me, the user experience is compromised by that thick, kind of gloopy nature. Yeah, and it has been around for a long time as well. So, and Sonax have got other products, even in this test, that are there to not give you the downsides of this product. So that's second from bottom on user experience. The Autoglym Rapid Ceramic Spray. Well, this again falls into the category of more of a protective water-based ceramic spray wax, if you like. It's very resinous, and you have to be careful when you're applying it. Sometimes it works better when there's some water on the car as a drying aid, just to knock it down. When you're using it dry, you really need to get that spread done quickly. Don't let it set on the panel. So it's not so casual as some of the other detail sprays. A similar thing actually with the Griots 3-in-1 product. This is probably loaded with active ingredients that make it durable. So you can see here my user experience for the bottom 4 is the ones that are all more spray waxy, with the exception of the Sonax, are compromised as detail sprays because of the nature of what they are. Next up, we're moving into all of the ones that identify as detail sprays, and overall the user experience is really good. The reason I put the Alchemy in the mid-order is just because really the instructions are missing details. There's very little details on this other than you spray it on the kind of body panel and wipe it, whereas this could be used as a quick detailer and a drying aid and all those other kind of functions, and it's lovely and slick. But they've just let the product down a little bit by not telling you about all the different ways you can use it. The trigger could be slightly better as well. I'm not so keen on these particular triggers. After that, the Carbon Collective sets a really good benchmark on what a ceramic detailer actually should be in terms of where it sits between a spray wax and a traditional detailer. But again, its instructions really are there for use on kind of body panels as a spray sealant or ceramic coating maintenance topper. So it lacks a bit of that versatility of some of that quick detailer function. After that, these two, I wasn't sure if I should switch these around. The Sonax Ceramic Ultra Slick Detailer. There is one reason why it's not higher up in the podium, because the overall user experience instructions are good. It's not as slick. You'd expect when it says Ultra Slick Detailer that when you lay this out, it to be really glidey and smooth and leave that silky finish. That's the one area of performance where it's kind of hasn't been able to deliver to me. And when it's so close, that does play a little bit of a factor. The Meguiars I've put in third place. I like the presentation of the product, all that sort of stuff. It does have a good level of slickness. It does have a good level of hydrophobicity. Overall, I can use this as a quick detailer and it's not that compromised. You just have to be a bit careful with it because it's quite a creamy white liquid. So if you're putting it on dry to shine up the panel, make sure you spread that liquid as soon as it hits the panel and then buff with a clean cloth and you'll be fine. If you go hurling this stuff on this heat around, some people say that it can streak a little bit. I just think that the material is a bit whiter, so you're seeing the material if it does dry before you get a chance to spread it. They do indeed tell you that if you ever get that, you just put a little bit more on to wet it and buff it. A very good user experience with the Meguiar's product. I think it's really highly desirable. In second place, the Labo Cosmetica SiO2. It's got some good advertised qualities around anti-static, very good instructions, good quality spray trigger, a nice slickness when you use it, and it's a versatile product that I can use for all my quick detailer functions. Found it difficult to criticise it. Again, only with those instructions winding around the bottle for too long. That's the only thing I think they can improve. Overall, the best experience for me was the hybrid ceramic detailer. This is the least compromised when you lay it out. It's got a thinness to it and it's low wetting, so it doesn't like to wet out the panel, but that seems to make it really easy to buff off. And it's really slidey and it works well on detailer jobs, but it gives you the protection that you'd want from a spray sealant, which is part of what they said in their kind of design brief. It's really well described, defined, and really good instructions on it as well. The only areas it can improve is a higher quality trigger, perhaps. That's literally all I've got on criticising it. That's my overall user experience rating with 1 down to 10 as quick detailer products. So guys, over to the final rankings. We add up all the points and we go from least amount of points ultimately to the winner. Remember, all of these products won their respective classes, but in this battle of ultimate performance, you've got to sort of like bang in some big points or you get kind of lost in the herd. Griots Ceramic 3-in-1 Spray Wax got the least amounts of points, 25. Why? It's the most expensive. It doesn't have the hydrophobic protective qualities of some of these other products that really rapidly repel. It isn't the slickest product. Did well on gloss, did very well on durability, but it was only 2 podiums overall. And as a spray wax, I feel you'd buy this really for good durability, but it wasn't class leading in any area. The Carbon Collective, 29 points. Why is this down here? This was banging in 6s a lot in some of its tests. So for example, durability 6 out of 10 within the field, slickness 6 out of 10, gloss rating 6 out of 10, user experience 6 out of 10, but the second most expensive products. If you want to win, you've got to bang in some 9 and 10s quite frequently to get higher up the field. Next up, 3 products all tied with 31 points and really different reasons. Again, the Autoglym Rapid Ceramic Spray. This is more of a spray wax that does affect its user experience as a detail spray. Still makes a great drying aid. This banged in a 10 out of 10 for slickness. It's actually one of the slickest products on the market, but you have to wait for it to set and then the paintwork just glides. That's one thing I've learnt about it from this test that I don't think I picked up with before. Apart from that, there was a few 5s and 6s, you know, within durability and hydrophobics. So performance isn't as kind of prolific as other products. So that's where it is. Next up, these 2 detailer sprays here. These are phenomenal, and these really do function better for detail spray duties. Are very well presented, have some sort of technical features that I've described, like your anti-static dust stuff for this. They're both very slick to apply. In fact, this one on application feels the lightest and the slickest. Why aren't they winning? They're relatively expensive and they were overpowered on hydrophobicity and durability. So there was 2 categories where they were going to be in the lower order, which just cost them points. We'll come back and talk about them later. Next up, 33 points. How's the Meguiars managed to get here? Lots of good results. It's actually decent on price, very good on hydrophobics. Not the most durable, which is okay for a detailer spray, but did cost it marks. The overall user experience is good. What you're getting with the Meguiar's product is a quick detailer, which is reasonably slick and incredibly beady and does top up protection incredibly well. But you could also, it's so protective, I think, if you just washed your car and use this to protect your car, it's going to bead between washes and it's enough. It can do the spray wax thing as well. I think it's a really good product, but didn't bang in enough 9 or 10s, like I say, to get up there on the podium. Next up, Alchemy Sugar Coat. Fantastic value for money. What is a ceramic detailer? I find it a really slick product. It's down on durability within this field, the least durable within this field, but that's okay. It was compromised a little bit on its user experience, but I think, you know, this is a good showing to be one off the podium, and I think this is a really strong proposition that fits. It's in the right place for a performance ceramic detailer, but not a full-on kind of protective product that we're not really looking for in this test. Then we've got the podium, 37 points. The Sonax ceramic ultra slick detailer does everything really well at a good price point, is incredibly hydrophobic. It has one downside, that it isn't slick, but apart from that, it's good in most other areas. Yeah, and it's just done pretty well. No major slip-ups, 37 points. Coming in second, 39 points, Sonax BSD. This is a monster in hydrophobic performance, and for a detailer, it has spray sealant level of protection for me, and I said that 10 years ago. It is more of a hydrophobic spray sealant. Even with me penalising this product in the user experience, it did very poorly in the slickness test. Everything else it aces really, and it's affordable, so it's just done well and got in second place. But yeah, not my favourite. The product with the most points, people are telling me this is discontinued, even though you can still buy it. Again, perhaps as a detail spray, the lowest user experience, but a versatile spray wax that you can really spray on anything really and use it as a drying aid, compromised by its wet wipe only. It darkens off the panel well. It's always done well in gloss testing, this particular product. It's deceptively hydrophobic and deceptively durable. It's just picked up the most marks. It's bizarre. We're crunching numbers here, and I think there's some real fundamental flaws with doing so, but we've got to just get all the information out there. And I want you to look at all this data. So every category, price ranking, durability ranking, hydrophobic ranking, there's 6 rankings. They're all worth the same. So there's kind of like 60 marks up for grabs. What you've got to do is take this data and fit it around your personal requirements, which are going to be different for everyone. What you could argue we should do is skew the data, so double the amount of points for slickness and double the amount of points for user experience, and then you'll get something that's more representative of a quick detailer. But that's going to be different for every single person. So by just scaling it all equally, you have the ability to go through, use some AI page to put this data into a spreadsheet and manipulate it, or just freeze frame this and then have a look at the ones that give you your performance criteria. I'm going to end this here. I'm going to go and do another video where I tell you I think this ranking on just on raw points is completely wrong, and I've got a strong sense of what I think are the best quick detailers in this overall lineup, and they are completely different to this ranking. And that way I'm giving you broad information on points scored in a robotic fashion. I'm also doing a video giving you my opinion on what's the best and giving you the ability to kind of convert it to what your opinion might be. So all avenues are covered. Very difficult. This test was like very difficult. Like these are all heavyweight kind of products that have all gone through to the final. One of the most difficult, ferocious tests I've ever conducted. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and if you want to see more, we're going to move on to another genre next. I'm just deciding what that's going to be, and we're going to do a similar thing. We'll buy up loads of stuff, we'll go in, crunch it, and see how it comes out. Bye for now. Doug.
Holding on to what I knew, but the moment's gone. Where was I when